realize that this went on for hours, and he was teaching these young 20-somethings, Oregon Finance 101. And so I sent him an email saying, thanks, Paul, for spending so much time with these young people. And he replied, helping young people is the best part of my job. Aww. And I think that that is who he is. It is not just meetings with governors and meetings with us. It is really who he is. So, Representative Barnhart.
Thank you. And I hope other members have stories that they like to pass along as well. And I appreciate the opportunity to do that. I've been thinking now for a couple of months since Paul announced that he was going to retire about what to say at a meeting like this. And of course, he and I have worked together for a decade since I've been chair of the House Revenue Committee. And trying to encapsulate that in a minute or two is really hard. But let me say that your story really epitomizes the good faith at which Paul addresses his job. This job is a difficult one because you've got 90 masters, all of whom have different ideas about what we ought to do, all of whom have some really great ideas and some really screwball ones, and I've had my share of the latter. I let other people decide whether I had any of the former. And yet he has been able to address seriously all the issues raised by the members coherently with a clear, with the ability to clearly describe what the potential implications are of the proposals that he's been offered, and then make some counter proposals of his own that he thinks might actually get to the member's objective even better than the one that the member brought. And that's true whether it's been a liberal Democratic idea, a conservative Republican idea, or what have you. And I think an even harder task than doing that is the ability to keep it all straight. Not tell me what Senator Boquist's brilliant idea was, unless Senator Boquist says it's okay for him to talk about it with me. I have never heard a confidence expressed, another member's confidence expressed to me. And of course, to do this job as a nonpartisan expert, head of one of the two major expert agencies in the legislature is not an easy trick. It has, I'm sure, at times been difficult, very challenging work, and yet Paul has made it look easy the whole time that I have known him. We have worked on very complex legislation, some of which we got passed and some of which we didn't. I remember one of the most controversial pieces, not controversial, that's wrong, most complex pieces that we worked on was right at the beginning of the time that Representative Benson, I'm sorry he's gone off someplace, came on, and I asked him to work on, there he comes, and I asked him to work on the natural resources estate tax issue. Paul and his office did a fantastic job of dealing with an extremely complex issue over a period of about 3 years, and it's a demonstration of how well that got managed, that we have heard almost nothing about it in the last 6 or 7 years, and we would have had that not been managed so well by the office. Now, Representative Bentz gets credit for a bunch of what happened, but without the office that Paul has headed and staffed, he's hired most of the people who work in the office, haven't you? Mm-hmm. All of them, all the people, and of course their quality is a statement of his quality. It seems to me as both as a person who understands the role that he plays, who's really good at it, and who also manages to hire crackerjack staff to do the work, that he can't possibly do all on his own. So, Paul, I want to really thank you for the work you've done. I have to tell you, I understand the desire to retire. I'm very unhappy about the fact that you've chosen to take now to do it, because I'd like to keep you another 5 years or so. But I understand it, and I recognize it, and I want to congratulate you for the wonderful legacy that you have given the office. Your successors will be able to look back on this period of time as an example of how they should manage the office. And I want to, on my own behalf, and I hope on the behalf of the two committees, I want to thank you for that work. And I hope some other people will have some comments about Paul before we leave today.
Senator Taylor?